Morning, Market Snipers. This is Jesse. If you've been to this live stream before, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome aboard. So, TGIF, right? TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. A lot of times we work on weekends and stuff like that anyways, not working for a company, working for yourself. So, it never stops. So let's check out the comments. Who's here with us? Got some music on in the background. We'll turn it down here in a second. Let's see. Deepak Ram. Start with BTC, sir. Okay. We can start with BTC. It's on the top of my list. Olson. Good afternoon, sir. What's going on? Ooh. We've got Dr. Nick, the sniper. Dr. Nick, the super sniper. Sigmund, yo, what up? Oh, Nick, come on. Oh, come on. Nick. Dump NASDAQ for my family, sir? Please, for my family. I mean, it's been dumping, so we'll definitely take a look at it. Good morning, Matt Thompson. Yo, what's up, Matt Thompson? Welcome back. What up, Nick? Yep. What up, Nick? Sniper Nick. Appreciate Sniper Nick, always doing the video updates when he's not traveling with his wife, and always appreciate Olson in the Discord. Guy posts sentiment scores for crypto. Seems like every day, definitely every week. Olson, is it every day pretty much, or 5 days a week, or how often are you posting in the Discord? It seems like every day. All right, well, let's start jumping into it. We'll get into the list. TGIF. Make sure to be a subscriber so that you can comment what asset you want me to take a look at. The first 15 to 30 minutes, we're going to go through the charts, write down the list, probably Bitcoin, NASDAQ, futures, Magnificent Seven. We're going to go through some crypto. I want to go through the crypto again. We went through it on Monday. Not too much has happened since Monday, so I don't really cover it every single day. If I look at the charts every day, but I don't really cover it every single day if not too much is happening, right? Still seeing the same things. Comments should be now. Olson should be now. They updated to become more frequent. Was 3 times. So in the Discord, Colson, they updated to become more frequent. Was 3 times weekly. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're helping out the sniper community. One of the biggest contributors in the sniper community outside of me. I don't know. One more. Kyle. Good morning. Good morning, Kyle. All right. Let's get this show on the road. All right, turn that music off there. Let's dive in deeper into the charts. Let's go bigger screen here. Let's go. Friday. All right. So the title is, what is the title? Oh, that's right. The title is Good Morning. Bitcoin and the stocks crashed, right? Now what? Well, we actually kind of talked about it before the breakdown that we thought we could go, let's see. Let me grab the brush here. As price was kind of rolling over and potentially putting in a lower high, right? As price was putting potential lower high, we're drawing out that couple scenarios. Maybe price finds support at the trend line, bounces, and then rolls over, right? Or we put in a second scenario, or the first scenario, whatever. They're both equal in my mind, that both could have happened, and we're just going to kind of watch it play out. Drop down, hit this target, bounce back up, right? And then roll over. And so if we look at it more closely and kind of dive in here, by the way, this is the NASDAQ futures daily chart, right? So after pointing out, a second lower high, price broke down. We were watching in real time. This was a pending sell way back here on last Friday. And then there was no pending sell, no pending sell. And then finally there was a sell signal back here on Wednesday, the 20th. And then price just continued to drop down, right? So drop down. Looks like it was finding support, possibly on the lower time frames, definitely on the 1 hour chart yesterday. And so I mapped out these targets based off of those lower time frames of potentials. And so yesterday, I believe it was yesterday's stream, I added this potential lower high scenario where price would come back up, maybe back test this trend line, hit this target and roll over. So a couple scenarios could come up short and just hit this target and kind of roll over. Could come all the way back up, hit this target and right around that trend line and roll over, create that lower high. And then, of course, there's another scenario. So since this scenario no longer exists, right? Another scenario is it comes down, comes all the way back up, either hits this target and does a fake out back above the trend line and rolls over, or comes all the way back up into the trending dots because price got pretty extended away from the trending dots. Come back up to trending dots, hit this target, right? Looks like it's finding support on the trend line and then rolls over. All scenarios lead to creating another lower high. And in my opinion, that's the higher probability. So whether that lower high is up here and there's a fake out along the way, a retracement, right? Trap some more bulls back up. And or if it's a very shallow retracement and it would look more like a bear flag, right? So if it's more of like a bear flag situation, then you're looking at, this target or this target. I wouldn't say that, price would come all the way back up here and hit this target up here. And then it wouldn't be a bear flag, in my opinion. It'd be very close, but it wouldn't be. So I'm really looking at whether it's this target, or somewhere around here to put in that third lower high. And that's why I have the question mark, because we don't know yet, right? There's always a chance that was it for the correction and it's over. I'm not seeing it with the weekly chart. So the weekly chart still currently isn't, let me get these. The weekly chart still hasn't printed a sell signal yet, but if we waited for that, we'd be waiting for a long time. So that's what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ. And let's check the comments real quick. G-Rod, good morning. Digging the music. Okay, cool. Yeah, we don't have too many options, G-Rod, on Yardstream. So, like I said, I'm newer to the streaming and newer to StreamYard, stuff like that. So maybe if we got like a cool intro song that's like copyright free, royalty free, and it's awesome, I'd play that more on the intros for sure. This is just StreamYards, and they only have like 10 options. So cool. It's okay, right? I don't love it, but I don't dislike it. Greetings from Holland. Tell me how to pronounce your name. Just like people misspell my name, I mispronounce names all the time. I'm also not good with accents whatsoever. And should I attempt it? Fajni. What's up? Greetings from Holland. Deepak Ram, sir, improve the video quality. It will be helpful. Oh, I definitely improved the video quality 100%. We're on a Logitech camera. We're on a higher definition camera now. We're not got the gaming laptop to handle the stream. So we're rocking and rolling now, Deepak. So we could probably always improve and always get better, but let's get back to it. So that's the NASDAQ. Oh, by the way, I think I've got Sir Dr. Nick Sigmund roped in to coming on Monday. So spoiler alert, we may have a guest Monday. So we'll see if he's running a successful dentist business over there, successful sniper over there. So we'll see if he's got some time and join us for Monday. So that'd be fun. Okay, so let's get back into it. Let's go right back to Bitcoin and kind of clean this up here. Right. So if we look at the daily chart, or the weekly chart, sorry. If we're looking at the weekly chart on Bitcoin, still currently above the 200-week moving average. Real quick. Heck yeah. Awesome. Awesome, my man. Okay, so the weekly chart. It takes time to play out, right? It takes a lot longer. So it was bearish, it was bullish, it was a great rally, and then it flipped back bearish. It's still bearish. And what we've talked about, even on this breakdown here, price got pretty far away from the trending dots. The trending dots are still trending downward, right? It's still bearish on the weekly chart. And so we'll see what happens when price reacts with it, or maybe it doesn't even let the trending dots catch up that far. But it's kind of chewing time off the clock, right? Like if you have say you're in a sport and you have a big lead and you're kind of like just stalling and chewing up the clock, like Football Reference. Like if you have a 20-point lead, maybe you're running the ball and you want to keep that clock moving. Well, this is kind of taking time off the clock, letting the trending dots kind of catch up, letting the moving averages catch up before possibly a further breakdown, right? So that's what we're kind of waiting for. And that's the weekly chart. It is still currently bearish. So we're going to find out what happens. We drop down to the daily chart, right? It's kind of going through this battle here. Had the breakdown. We talked about finding support. We talked about bouncing and hitting some potential more targets. Is it finding support at the trending dots? Possibly. Had this breakdown here, and we even kind of mapped all that out ahead of time, right? So before that even happened, let's see, I'm going to clean this up and move in closer, right? We had this trend line drawn out, and it broke down from it and had a sell signal. We had this trend line kind of drawn out. If you go back to the earlier streams in the week or previous streams in the week, you'll see that I drew this out based off of like where I think price could retrace. Maybe it bounces and then kind of rolls over, and it was kind of lined up with the trending dots, right? So I kind of had that on previous streams. It was kind of like mapped out like that, right, from there. And it has found support as of now, but is it short-lived? Will it be enough to hold? And it's possible. So, break down from this, maybe it finds support and then rolls over after that. It's possible we don't hit this third target, right? So if it starts putting in a lower high, that would be your cue to that, price is breaking down and we could go see those lower targets on the weekly chart, right? The other scenario is it's possible that it finds support here, rallies to hit up this target, and then rolls over, or the target above it. Kind of just depends. But right now, as of right now, it seems like it might put in this lower high and then fade off, right? That might be it. But we have targets on there for a reason. So we're keeping the awareness of what potentially could happen. And so for me, when it was up here around the second target, and on the lower time frames, it looked like it was starting to potentially roll over, and you can kind of see it stalling out, right? And the overall markets were correcting and stuff. I decided to take profits on my long. So that's where I'm at right now. And it's kind of a wait and see. Is it going to start to build momentum back up and come all the way back up here? Or is it going to start to build momentum up, stall again, and then correct over. So that's the Bitcoin outlook on there. Let's take a look at the comments, check in real quick. Oh, longtime sniper, Discord member, Emmanuel. What's up, family? What's up? Awesome to see you. Glad you're here. Let me know where everyone is at on your plans for the weekend. Do we have any plans for the weekend? Let's see. Who else? Who else we got? Arnold. Sup, boss? Finally weekend. Yes. Finally weekend. What's up, Arnold? Again, another longtime sniper, Discord member. Been following me on Twitter forever. Awesome. Let's go, Arnold. Yeah. Sniper community. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. So I have, as you notice on the list here, I have NASDAQ. We just cover that. Bitcoin, cover that. If you guys have any questions about the ones I'm covering, just let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll answer any questions and chart your assets in the second half of the stream. So we'll keep going on the first 15 to 30 minutes covering the charts. There's a lot of charts to get to, and then we'll cover any questions. Obviously put a question mark or comment, right? Or comment the question or comment the asset you want me to chart, and we'll get into it. Real quick, Mauricio, barbecue with friends and family. Oh yeah, awesome. I didn't get the invite, but thanks. Thank you. Ha. Awesome. Weekend plans equals Michigan game watching, then beat up the Rutgers. Yep. Big Michigan fan over there. Your Discord. Oh, what happened over there? Let's see. Oh, different. Nothing. Yeah. Even Colson's. I think Discord colors are Michigan colors, right? I believe. Just enjoying short positions on NASDAQ and Tesla. Okay. All right. Well, don't enjoy the unrealized profits, Arnold. Come on now. We only enjoy realized gains, not unrealized. Do you think we're starting the huge correction in the stock market lasting a few years? That's a good question, NT. We'll get to that. I did cover it a little bit yesterday. You can dive into yesterday's stream if you missed yesterday. I did talk about it a little bit, I believe. And actually, maybe I'll save that for. I meant to send out the free newsletter, the second one of the week yesterday. So I'm going to send out the free newsletter. That's a good one, NT. Check out the free newsletter. Subscribe if you want. I'll do a deeper dive on it because I think that's better for time wise, and I can write out my thoughts and detail them out in bullet points and really talk about it and dive in. I have talked about that over the last year and a half. And in detail on Twitter and the Discord or the X app, right? True. Already took out 50% profit from NASDAQ and letting it ride. Awesome. Good. If that was your plan originally, Arnold, that's awesome. But yeah, NT, to get back to your question, it's a great question. I don't like to get too biased, bullish or bearish. But I have mapped out that exact scenario of psychology of a stock market or psychology of a market, right? So I'll post that. I've posted it many times in the past, and kind of I was mapping it out. And I've been looking at it and stuff like that. So that's a good one. Tune into the free newsletter, and I'll send that out tonight. Or today. Thank you. Good. I think that'd be a good idea. All right, let's jump into it. Let's jump over to the Magnificent Seven. Then we'll come back, hit these crypto assets, and then anything else that catches my eye, and then we'll get into the any other questions and comments after that. Let's go. Let's do it. Where are we? Oh, Magnificent Seven. Getting a bounce here, right? Just as we were kind of talking about. Getting a bounce. NT, you got it. All right, NT, free subscriber in the newsletter. Awesome. Appreciate your support. Thank you. All right. Weekly chart, NVIDIA. Any developments on the weekly chart? I mean, these are the breakdowns playing out as we hoped. Weekly chart. That was an amazing rally. Still above this longer term upward trend line. So will we see a higher low up here above the trend line and find support and bounces, or will it come straight down to target 2? G-Rod. Okay, I got you. Got you. All right, let's drop down the daily chart on NVIDIA. We're 20 minutes in, so try to keep the rambling down a little bit, and then we'll rock and roll, and then we'll do more discussion after that. So we'll get hyper focused on these charts now. As we talked about, the bearish divergence, the massive 20% gap. As a quick recap, if you've missed the previous live streams, by the way, this is, I believe we've had 12 live streams, or this is the 12th live stream. Time flies. It's still extremely early, right? We talked about that when we started the Discord, March 2022, or early or late February. It's still early. It's been a year and a half now. Super early in these live streams. So we'll continue to get better and better over time and try to help as many people as possible sniper these markets. So they had the bearish divergence, right? The breakdown, hit target 1, went below the trend line, is back above the trend line. So very similar idea to NASDAQ that we just laid out, where would price come down? And we talked about this back here, right? Over a week ago, price could come down below the trend line, come back up and retest it, or it could come down like this, bounce back up and put in a lower high, right? So this one, we'll take that off and we'll take that off. Now we're kind of at like that, right? So whether this bounces higher or not, we're not sure, but it's looking like hit target 1, bounce, let the trending dots catch up. Maybe it's a more shallow bounce. Maybe it doesn't even get that high, right? Or, could do something like, bounce, right? So we'll just kind of let it play out. And then that would be the next time it breaks down would be the next time to, if you're looking for short position, right, would be the next time to attack, right? Attack to the downside. And then the probabilities will start to stack of hitting target 2, right? And then the probabilities will continue to stack that the 20% massive gap below gets filled at some point, right? And by then, the weekly chart will look like it's starting to roll over. So with that all being said, we'll keep moving on Meta. Let's look at the weekly chart. So had that massive rally. It's starting to look like this could be a lower high. It's too early to call it. But if it does anything similar to Apple, this will put in a lower high at some point, come back down, hit target 3, 4, and then we'll talk about the 200-week moving average. Then we'll talk about the gap. Then we'll talk about this massive 20% gap after that. So too early to start talking about that, even though it's already on the charts, already ready to go. It was before the rally started to happen. It was too early to have this massive 21% gap up here at 319, but we already had it on the charts, ready to go, waiting patiently for a breakout and a rally, right? So that's Meta. It's kind of a wait and see. Let's look at the daily chart. Still battling, right? So after the bearish divergence, this is looking like the lower high breakdown. It's battling. There is a pending buy right now, but the day is not over and could finish lower. And even if it does, it's just kind of like slowly rolling over, right? So we'll see what happens. I don't think it makes a higher high, right? So that's Meta. Amazon breakdown. So again, there's a lot of similarities on the Magnificent Seven. The longer term bearish divergence, breakdown from the upward trend line. We had the sell signal, and come down, hit some targets, and then or at least one target just on the eyeball test. maybe it comes back up, puts in that lower high, retest the trending dots, and then roll over, see it from there. Let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart looks like a clean break on the weekly chart. MACD bearish crossover pending. This would be a weekly close below the trending dots. And then you've got this upward trend line here. Maybe price will find support at the 200-week moving average at some key target areas and or this upward trend line. So we'll see how it goes. You can see where Amazon, unlike some of these other Magnificent Seven stocks, Amazon had already retested the March 2020 lows. So we've talked about that a lot over the last year and a half. Amazon has already retested it, whereas a lot of these other Magnificent Seven stocks have not yet. Please check CAS. Okay. All right, Manuel. Got you. Okay. Microsoft. So it had that bearish divergence longer term, the weekly chart, as we talked about, a lower high, and it's continuing to trend downward, right? So Microsoft is continuing to trend downward. We did have that breakdown on the daily chart, that lower high, right? We got very close to the next target. Got very close to the next target. It did not hit it. It already hit it there. So it seems like it could be bouncing, maybe puts in another lower high and then rolls over after that. So that's Microsoft. But as of right now, it may not even quite bounce back up yet. It's still bearish. It could or put in like some sort of a bear flag, right? So if it puts in like some sort of bear flag like that, and then you can kind of eyeball that out, that would be kind of like the next move down roughly. So we'll see how it goes. That's Microsoft, still bearish on the daily chart. Could be becoming bearish on the weekly chart soon, right? Let's look at Tesla. So I pointed this out on the daily chart when it was a sell signal. We've got a MACD bearish cross pending, right? So MACD bearish crossover. This could be a lower high here. And so it's starting to trend downward even on the weekly chart, could become bearish again. And we'll see if it starts breaking down from the trending dots. The trending dots have already started to roll over. So we'll see. The daily chart, also a pending MACD bearish crossover, right? And so got the daily, and we just delete that. We don't even need that. But so we're calling out a potential lower high, right? And then price came down, was breaking down, found support for a second, bounced for within one candle, put in that wick, and then closed back down below it, right? Closed back down below it. So could something similar play out on the NASDAQ and NVIDIA? Definitely. Where price came down, one candle kind of pumps back up and then reverses back down the same day. Would that happen today or tomorrow? Or not tomorrow, Monday, the next trading business day? Possibly. Could take a couple of days to play out as well. So they don't all play out exactly the same, but there are a lot of similarities. So sell signal, it's continuing to be bearish, MACD pending bear cross. And so we'll see if it finds support, bounces, and then continues lower after that. But it is bearish on the daily chart and showing signs that the weekly chart could become bearish in the near future. Takes time to play out in the weekly chart. Apple, right? Been following Apple and calling this out in the bearish divergence, reversal candle, bearish divergence, right? I had changed the settings on this. I'm flipping back and forth. As you can see, I was looking for it on a lower time frame, and you can see you can find reversal candles on different settings, right? So the different settings will change the reversal candles. So that's something you want to, play with on a regular basis. It's up to you, or just kind of leave them at the default settings at 70 and 30. It works great too. I like to flip back and forth the 70 and 30 40 and 60, and then I was on the lower time frames. So I was like, well, let me see if I can find a reversal candle on the eyeball test, because I know how the reversal candle is kind of mapped out, how it's going to play out, which I talk about in one of the private videos in the Discord, talking about the sharpshooter candles and the reversal candle and how it works, right? So I do like to play around the settings on it, the input settings. So had the breakdown, had the lower high, it's kind of letting everything kind of catch up. It was quite the big move down. So we did actually draw this out in previous streams, almost identical, right? We were talking about the breakdown, right? And then came back in on a separate stream, and it was looking like it could be finding some support here. And then I kind of drew it out like this, right? And so this was this was like a separate drawing. But when it was over here, we kind of talked about this potential, and then break back down, and then put another lower high, and then continue down. It's possible, or of course, it could just go like that, right? So we'll see what happens. But I did draw out that potential scenario. I drew it up higher. I drew it up here where it'd come up and fully fill the gap, but it partially filled with a 0.45%. So we'll see what happens. But it's currently bouncing right now after that move. It's finding support here, right? Finding support here. And so we'll see. Maybe it'll get rejected, or maybe it'll come back up here, kind of put in this move here, maybe some sort of a retracement, right? Kind of eyeball test retracement there. Fill this gap maybe, right? Fill this gap here, and then kind of roll over. So we'll see on that one. That's Apple. Google, just Google it. So big move down, right? I drew this out before the breakdown. It was back in here, I believe. I drew it out back here like this. So I'm sorry I drew it out so nicely. It's a joke. Ha. No one's laughing in the comments. Whatever. So it took some time to play out. Took a few more days to play out. So kind of just move it over. But the idea was there, right? So the idea is there. We just don't know exactly when. We're just waiting patiently. Good afternoon from London. Do you think you could look at WA stock? Okay. Yeah, we'll get into thanks for the comment, Palik. Yeah, we'll get into the second half. We're just trying to go through all these stocks. It's already 33 minutes in. So this is the last one of the Magnificent Seven for the stocks. Then we're going to jump over to crypto. We'll go through that, and then we'll take a look at the comments and the assets that are being commented on that. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go. What else? Let's see. Looking at so could get price dropped pretty quickly on Google. So you can see the trending dots are kind of taking some time. And so could get like a, one of those, you can call it a dead cat bounce. You can call it a relief, not a relief rally. It's not even a relief rally, but profit taking here, right? You can see some profit taking, kind of let the moving averages catch up, put in that lower high, because we don't have a lower high yet. So putting in that lower high will be that higher probability, right, of the reversal. And this would put in that lower high, right? So it would be one of those potential short the bounces, right? Wherever it is. However, maybe it's just a matter of filling that gap, right? Maybe it just kind of came down, kind of bounces, fills that gap, puts in like some sort of a bear flag, and wherever it starts to roll back over, that would be your kind of higher probability short position to hit this target, and the probabilities would continue to stack from there. Remember, you got the gap there, you got a gap there. They're not massive gaps, I don't believe. Otherwise, I would put it on the chart if it was massive. But it's a 4% gap. So this is a smaller gap. I can eyeball that. It's probably 2 to 3%, right? So that's Google. Let's keep going. Let's get back to the Sniper Top 40. We're going to jump into Ethereum. This is the daily chart. Remember, I changed the settings, 40 and 60. So we do have bullish divergence still. And we were talking about it when price is back up here, but it did drop all the way back down. We do have the trending dots kind of leveling out. So it's kind of a wait and see. Maybe there'll still be a bounce on Ethereum. But from this, let's see, the bullish divergence doesn't seem like the divergence is cleared out yet. Now the reversal candle has disappeared. So I love that the reversal candle is real time, just like the MACD pending bullish or bearish crossover. I do like that a lot. So it's real time telling you could be potential reversal, but then waiting for a candle close tells you a lot more, right? So that's the downside, is that you jump the gun because the reversal candle is pending or the MACD is pending, and then it turns out that it never actually has, or the buy or sell signal is pending and it never actually turns into one, and the candle completely reverses down. So Ethereum, is it finding support at the 200-week moving average? Overall, if you look at this, Ethereum is bearish. The weekly chart is, let's go. The weekly chart is bearish, right? Do have these lower targets mapped out down here, but you can see the momentum is to the downside, right? So could that daily bullish divergence kind of just move up into here, kind of let those trending dots catch up, similar to Bitcoin, and then kind of roll over and hit lower targets? That's still my main thoughts on this, because we are seeing bullish divergence. It's too early to say, but this could be a higher low, but it also could be future bullish divergence. So it's kind of a wait and see. I'm not in a long position or a short position in Ethereum, so it's kind of a wait and see on that one. Let's go to Solana. So no bullish divergence on Solana. The weekly chart is still bearish, right? The weekly chart is still currently bearish overall. Trending dots is trending downward, right? So not seeing a longer term trend change yet. There's not even a trend change on the daily chart. There was an RSI buy signal, right? Price started closing back above the trending dots, and then a buy sell back and forth. And will price find support at the trending upward dots and then continue to move up for retracement and then roll back over? It's too early to say. I'm not seeing like a buy yet. Maybe if price kind of did something like that, where it consolidates, or whether it kind of consolidates like this, kind of comes back down and then comes out, or just consolidates and then starts to break out like that. Maybe at that point, that would be a buy for, maybe a retracement somewhere up in here, right? Put in those targets. But not right now. So maybe just keep an eye on it. Maybe take a few days to play out. But it could also, there's no bullish divergence. It's always a possibility that puts in some bullish divergence, right? So then you got that lower high. So then you kind of see like price come down like this, right? And then comes back out, puts in that bullish divergence, and then hits some targets to the upside. But I'm not seeing much on Solana right now. Cardano, nothing on Cardano. Still bearish on the daily chart. Still bearish. There is bullish divergence, but just as I mentioned, very similar on Solana, that either this could be a higher low, a very slightly higher low, or could put in a slightly lower low, and that would be, potentially continued bullish divergence, right? And then maybe there's a breakout, and then you see like those targets get hit like that. So, but overall, the daily chart is bearish, the weekly chart is bearish. So, do you really want to take a buy when the overall trend is trending downward, right? So that's a counter trend. That's more of a sell the rip type of scenario. And so it's currently bearish right now. Maybe it's finding support here because you had a bottom, you had a test with the wick, another test with the wick, another test with the wick. Maybe it's going to find support here, but it's guessing as of right now. So it's currently guessing if this is the bottom. Could come all the way back down here. It could continue trend downward, right? So we'll see. Matic still bearish on the weekly chart, showing signs of life on the daily chart, but bullish divergence, very similar thoughts. So no need to keep covering that. Solana and Cardano looking very similar, bullish divergence. Will this find support, put in a lower high, or bullish divergence, and then get a bounce after that? DOT, similar thoughts, slightly bullish divergence, and then it's kind of it's still a wait and see, right? Still a wait and see. All right, so that's pretty much it. US 10-year yield. Let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart is still bullish, right? The weekly chart is going to end. The candle was on fire. The monthly chart candle was on fire. It's currently not, but it's still bullish on the weekly, on the monthly, on the daily chart. It's still currently bullish on all higher time frames. So that's US 10-year yield. VIX had a price closing above the trending dots. Trending dots are closing back up. We actually talked about this before the breakout. We could see it kind of pump up, and since the VIX is it's a volatility of S&P 500, so there's a lot of volatility. It could pump up, pump back down, pump up, back down. I mean, it does stuff like that, right? So it's pretty wild, and that's what it could do. So even the reversal candle doesn't mean that that's it. It could just reverse back down, hit this, and then reverse back up, reverse back down. It's a wild animal, right? So DXY, let's take a quick look at that. Daily, it's currently bullish. Weekly chart, currently bullish. A close back above here takes out this weekly horizontal. We already had a weekly close above this horizontal, putting in a higher high, right? Higher high. Could have take out this horizontal, and then at some point we're going to see a higher low get put in, and then we'll see. But maybe comes up and hits this target first, and then puts in the higher low. So maybe it comes up like this, and then we'll see after that, right? Or maybe just keeps going like that, right? Like that. But a weekly close above signals to me that is taking out this path here, and that these higher targets are on the table, right? So too early to say at this moment. The week is not over, but it's closing this week. It's closing today, right? So it's closing in on a weekly close. Say that a million times in a row. And SQQ, right? This was that bonus asset we were talking about. Was all the way up into the trend line, has not closed above. It's still early, under $20. There was the buy signal followed by reversal. Again, this is very similar to the VIX. It's a wild animal. So I would say, unless you're really comfortable with the charts, I'd stay away from it. But it is a bear ETF, or a bear ultra pro short, right? So maybe it does something like that, and then does the breakout. So That's what we're kind of watching it right there. That's it. Let's go into the comments. Let's go into the requests. So if you got requests, we're at 9:45. We got 15 minutes to go through requests. Seems like we have more than enough time. We've been running 10 to 15 minutes over because I want to make sure to try to get everyone's answers to their questions and take a look at the chart. So let's go back up and look at some assets. Again, let me know if you got anything going on for the weekend. I'm going to take the wife to the driving range now that she's got a starter set of golf clubs. For our second-year anniversary, I bought her a women's golf club. So she hasn't even had a golf club yet. She's only played 14 holes in her life. And but she's starting to get into it. She's a natural. I haven't even given her too many lessons. I've just kind of keep it simple and all about getting her rhythm and her confidence up. Rhythm and confidence. So she's hitting the ball like 100, 125 yards off the tee. She misses the ball too, but she can. I have seen her hit it like 125 yards, and she's brand new to the game. So we'll see if we can get some rhythm going, some confidence with the new things, and then we'll start to layer in her skill set for golf and practice myself, right? Deepak, start with BTC. I got it. Dump the NASDAQ. Okay. I know, Dr. Nick, but there might be a little bit of bounce first after it was already dumped. Let's go through just real quick. What's the next one? LG. Well, let's go. That's not even. All right. Emmanuel, I'm playing the short. Cass, have a very nice setup to short right now. Okay. Awesome. Let's take a look at Cass and we'll take a look at the overall on it. So let's go. I don't think I have. I'm assuming I think you said Cass is crypto, right? So just make sure to let me know if you're charting something or looking at something to take a position on. Obviously this is not financial advice. I'm just going to show you what I see in the charts. You always have to make your own decisions. I don't even say invest or trade until you're ready. And how do you know you're ready? Well, you're comfortable with the entry points. You're comfortable with the exit strategy. You have it all mapped out. You know when you're wrong. You know when to keep pushing trades. Obviously we can take a look at the charts. It's good to have someone else take a look at your chart. Even the professional golfers out there have a swing coach and always trying to get better over and over again. And for me, looking at your charts, coaching, looking at this all day, every day, it helps me too. It helps me keep my game sharp. So I love it. So Cass, if you don't tell me what the exchange, if it's crypto or stocks, then I'm kind of guessing. But I usually select the first USDT that I see. Maybe it's Binance or in this case MEXC. Let's take a look at it. Let's jump in. Just helps save time on it. Let's delete that. And let's get back on the cursor. All right, let's start with the weekly chart. So there's not a ton of history on the weekly chart. And I like to personally trade stuff with a little bit more history, but we'll still look at it. We've got this longer term bearish divergence kind of showing up, right? Had this huge wick up that may have taken out a bunch of stop losses and traps additional long positions as it took out the 5.052 cents, right? Or call it 5 cents, 0.052, round it down to 5 cents, kind of took out all of that. There's an RSI sell signal. I'm sure there's a bearish MACD crossover somewhere as well. But to save time, we'll come up. You do have the trading dots down here at less than 4 cents. So it could be, Emmanuel, that price is going to put in that lower high, right? It's too early to call it on the weekly chart, but you could kind of see it possibly roll over, put that lower high. It's not confirmed yet. And then you'd kind of on a longer time frame. I don't know what time frame you're on. Oh, weekly chart, by the way. Okay. Let's see. Please check. Has a nice bearish divergence to short. Give it a look. I'm sure you'll probably want to short it too. Okay. Thank you for all the extra details. I love that. That helps me kind of like put everything in context. So, overall, you do have to say that uh, the weekly chart is still bullish, still above the trend line, it's still above the trending dots, right? But there are signs of bearish. You have bearish divergence. It's too early to call it, but there's an RSI sell signal. This could put in a lower high. So it's too early to say in the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily chart. So the daily chart has bearish divergence as the indicator is picking up, right? Bearish divergence. Price came back, retraced. This was starting to look like a lower high, and then there was additional bearish divergence. So if you change the settings on our site, it might be additional bearish divergence. So it's right in that one. If you go back to coaching, because I know you're in coaching, Emmanuel. If you go back to the 1-2 punch, it's right in that 1-2 punch area, right? So it's right there. So you just have to decide what your overall strategy is, right? So this is bearish divergence. Shorting the bounce on a lower high is the higher probability. So maybe you're kind of waiting for that, or you're just waiting for, somewhere in between the 1 and the 2 punch on the daily chart. It's right there. So let's kind of draw this out, right? So you had a breakdown here on the trend line. So you have bearish divergence, and you can kind of see, let's see if we can change the settings here. Find out if there's like a reversal candle. You can kind of play with it, right? That's why I had like 21 on, and this is just for like your own visual purposes, right? You can see like the reversal candle starting to come in potentially. So not really, but there was one reversal candle on there just as like an awareness. But you're looking at like, if this was on the sniper top 40 crypto and stock screener, right? We would have had a potential sell coming in right around this candle and this candle, and then prices breaking down. So it's somewhere in between that 1 and 2 punch on the short. The 2 punch hasn't happened yet, but it's somewhere right in there. So are you kind of like waiting for, a lower high to get put in, and then you're looking at a higher probability? So you just have to decide what you're going to be doing, right? It could be something like that. And the reason why you kind of wait for a higher probability setup of a lower high being put in, why? Why? Well, because there could be future bullish divergence. That's why, right? So you just have to be aware of all of your surroundings, and just comes with experience over that. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. So that was Cass. Thank you for commenting on that. We're working through it. Cass. What else? NASDAQ. Nike. I think Nike's. Let's do Nike. G-Rod. Interested in Nike. Okay. G-Rod, let me know. What are you interested in on Nike? Are you looking at the weekly chart? Are you looking at the daily chart? What are you looking at? I don't have it on Sniper Top 40, so let me type it in. Obviously, I know Nike, so I know it's not a crypto asset. Let's see. No drawings. Wow, Nike. Ultra bearish on the daily chart. Ultra bearish. Let's go to the weekly chart. Ultra bearish on the weekly chart. Can you check Tilray? Mauricio, you got it. You got it. We'll get to it. Tilray. Yeah, it's on my Sniper Top 40. and it's actually on our stock and crypto screen. Is it? I can't remember. I believe it was at one time. I have to double check. Don't quote me on that. So Nike is bearish long term. It's below the 200-week moving average. It's in a bear market, right? November 2021. Oh, gotta love that. Gotta love that setup. I just gotta take a pause here. And I gotta love it. Oh, I love this. I can't wait for the next bull run. Well, we don't even need to wait for the next bull run, but on the next bull run, right? Bearish divergence on the weekly chart, followed by a reversal candle. Just, just beautiful. Just beautiful. It's gonna make the snipers' lives much easier, right? Much easier. So it's bearish, right? If you're looking as like an opportunity to buy, you know, it is. Let's see, from the all-time high, it had corrected 53%, currently down 49%, but it's bearish. It's bearish below the 200-week moving average. I'm sure it's below the 200-day moving average. So many investors say that's a bear market, right? Um, so it's a wait and see. We don't know how low it goes, right? Like here's March 2020 low. And remember, many stocks have retraced to the March 2020 lows. Many stocks, including major stocks, have retraced below March 2020 lows and have gone back all the way to like 2014 prices, right? Like I believe it was Disney that back to like 2014 prices. So let's look at the monthly chart, see if we can see anything on the monthly chart. I mean, it's not a buy for me when you're seeing the monthly chart dropping just because it seems like a good value, right? And you like the company. The monthly chart is breaking down more. It already broke down, but the weekly chart is bearish. The monthly chart is bearish, and you have the daily chart is ultra bearish, right? Could there and will there be bounces along the way? For sure, but could there be lower prices as well, right? What if price comes all the way back down to like 2017 area, 50 something dollars? If you were to buy now, right? And price comes all the way, you could lose or be underwater another 40%. And I'm looking to buy the right dip. Well, when's the right dip? When there's a higher probability of a reversal, right? You buy this dip, this on a monthly chart. If you go back to like Bitcoin in 2022, when we were looking at it, and there's that first correction, and then there's that bounce, that dead cat bounce where, from what was it, from I think at end of January to March, all the perma bulls were calling for, that was the bottom. It's in. The Discord, we were saying no, 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 it's not. And a lot of us got to capitalize, two ways, right? We had investors who capitalized and they didn't get out here on that move down. They got out here and salvaged some capital at like 46,000, 48,000. Shout out to Grant. He's going to be on the replay crew. I know it, over in Australia. Longtime Discord member, longtime Twitter follower. He was one of those investors. He shared his story with us, and I appreciate it. And he's even on our website for as a video testimonial. He was an investor at the time, and he got out at like $48,000 on Bitcoin and salvaged, because where did Bitcoin go after that? $15,000 or $15,500 after that. So he got out, and now since then, that was over a year ago. Now he's snipering the markets as a swing trader on the daily chart. So he's really progressed over time. I love it. He's been there since day one. He's still there. 40% of the snipers in the Discord have been there over a year. I love to see that. So it's bearish on the monthly. It's bearish on the weekly. It's bearish, ultra bearish on the daily chart. So It's a wait and see. G-Rod. Cass got that one. What else? Palak, good afternoon from London. Do you think you could look at WA stock? Definitely. Let's look at it. Let's look at it, pal. Thank you for being here on your Friday. Thank you for commenting a symbol. I'd be happy to chart it for you. So WBA. So if you're outside of the US, we may not have similar access to the stock as we've learned over time on the streams. So maybe there's an equivalent, or maybe actually we will have WBA. But let me know what it is. Is it Walgreens Boots Alliance? Let me know, like, instead of just like WA stock, like if it's not a common one, like, for example, I know Nike, right? If you said, hey, can you chart Disney, right? I know those ones, obviously, but maybe I don't know. Obviously, I know Walgreens, but Walgreens Boots Alliance. Let me confirm that Walgreens Boots Alliance is it, so that I don't jump in and do a deep dive and it's not even the right one. Johnny's. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to you, Johnny. I see you. I see you, Johnny. This is the monthly chart of Walgreens Boots. Wow. Ultra bearish on the monthly chart. That's incredible. That is incredible. All right, let's zoom out here. Let's zoom out. Where's March 2020? Oh, March 2020 low. Where's that at? March. Huh. So we're all the way back to 2008. No. Yeah. 2009 was this last pivot here, right? And then prices all the way back to September 1998 on Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA. I don't know if this is the right stock or not, but it's ultra bearish. Definitely not something I'd be buying right now. It's back to 1998. So you want to hold an asset, long term, whether it's it's just not for me, right? I'm not a hodler, right? I just can't do it. I could love an asset and still not hold it long term. I want to swing trade it. I want to swing trade it on the daily chart over and over and over again. I don't want to hold it, because what if you loved Walgreens Boots here and you bought in October 2012, and at one point on the monthly chart you're up 167%. Let's say, for example, we're going to run over. We already ran over. We're going to run over. But we're on a roll today. It's Friday. It's TGIF. Hit those like buttons as hard as you can. Keep smashing the subscribe. We got to talk like a streamer if we're going to stream, right? We're going to talk like one. So imagine you invested $10,000. Imagine you're up 167% on that. What is that? Your account is I don't know. It's up, right? It's up 167. We're not going to do math right now. It's Friday. And then you held it because you loved it so much. And then you held it. And then it starts breaking down. And you're like, well, it'll bounce back. It's bounced back. You're watching your favorite Twitter person, X app, YouTuber, your favorite influencer who loves Walgreens Boots, Tesla, Disney, whatever it is that you love so much, right? You see it breaking down. Now you're just holding it underwater. Now you're underwater from 2012, right? I'm not saying anyone did this, but now you're down 40%. Now the $10,000 is $6,000, and you've been holding it since 2012. So 10 years later, your $10,000. Not only did inflation happen, which you lost money, now you're down 40% after 10 years. So I'm just not a buy and holder. Maybe you held it since 1998 and you've never sold, and now it's down, hoping for a bounce back. Now it's all the way back to 1998, and you've lost the power of the dollar since 1998. So buy and holding is not for me. Swing trading is, whether you're swing trading on the daily chart, the 1 hour chart, the weekly chart, or in this case, even the monthly chart. You could be a longer term investor. You know, I'd rather swing trade it. That's WB. As WBA. Hopefully that was the right stock because we just spent some time on it. If not, if it wasn't, then maybe we learned something from it. So let's see. What's the next one? So Cass, Nike, the next one, 10-year. Yeah, we briefly looked at the 10-year yield. What's your take? It's all about what it's going to be now. Everything else is dependent on it. So just noise. Yeah, well, let's see. I mean, it's a good question. So what we do know is that the monthly chart, Canley TV, Gent R, we do know the monthly chart is bullish. We do know that the weekly chart is bullish, but there is bearish divergence and there could be continued bearish divergence, right? Weekly chart is still bullish, right? So as far as like my thoughts on it, if the rates are going up and businesses have to, no longer have cheap money to grow and expand, it's going to contract, right? If the 30-year mortgage rates continue to increase, being that I was in mortgage and real estate for 17 years, I can tell you that mortgage applications are down without looking up, are the mortgage applications down? Turns out, yeah, mortgage applications are down. Without reading news articles, I can tell you based off of my experience that, there's a bigger decline in, in the last 10 months, I saw a newsletter, not a newsletter, I saw a news article that, there's been more cancellations in the last 10 months. There's been more cancellations last month than there has been the last 10 months. It's all part of the interest rates, right? So when money is cheap, it's going to expand. When money is expensive to borrow, then does it make sense? And doesn't mean businesses can't continue to grow. It's just going to continue to grow at a slower pace because they can't leverage cheap debt, right? So that's my thoughts on it. It's still bullish. The next target, the probabilities are continuing to increase of hitting the next target. It doesn't mean it couldn't retrace before hitting the next target, but these are longer term trend lines. This trend line, you can see if it went up and hit this target, could be somewhere in between this year, 2024, 2025. It's on this more parabolic trend line, I like to call it. It's starting to go more vertical, right? So could hit, if rates come up and hit this next target up in the 5%, could be somewhere between this year, 2024. If it goes up and hits the rates up here, maybe sometime up at 2024. So I just stick to the charts, and I know with the higher rates what that means. And it doesn't mean we're going to see, if rates are continuing to increase, markets and everything seem like they're going to continue to contract, not pump up to make all-time highs, right? So I see those people out there, the long-term macro people, right, calling for all-time highs every 2022, 2023, 2024. It's in correction mode. All right, let's get to the next one. Caesar. What's up, Caesar? Hey, Jesse. B&B, if we can. Caesar, let me know in the comments you're still here, and we'll take a look at it. B&B, let's look at it. I'm pretty sure I have it on here, but for time-saving purposes, if I can't see it very quickly on the list, then I'll just type it in. I need to remove some of these off of the list just for purposes of saving time. All right, I'm just going to type it in, crypto, B&B. USD. Thank you for typing that in. USDT. It's probably already on there. There it is. Okay. Monthly chart is bearish. And then Caesar, let me know. I'm here, mate. Awesome. Thanks, Caesar. Thank you. Okay, so let me know. Are you looking for like a potential buy the dip scenario? Are you shorting? Like, what's your mindset on this? Or are you looking at a potential like, you know, a long term buy the dip scenario? Or are you currently holding the coin, hoping that it turns around at some point? Let me know what you're doing right now, or you're just interested in it. So maybe you're not even holding position. You're just interested in waiting for that buy the dip potential. So buy the right dip. Yes, potential long-term, midterm. Okay. Yeah, right now it's currently bullish on the monthly chart. You got the trending dots up here. So it doesn't mean that it can't be shorter term bounces along the way. You got this longer term downward trend line. It's possible that it comes back down even lower to hit some of these targets, right? Longer term, bought some spot at 220. Oof, 220. Okay, so 220 down 5%. That's not the end of the world, right? So let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart is breaking down. And we just looked at a chart that went back to 1998 prices on WBA together, Caesar. I'm not saying this goes all the way back down to here, but it's always a possibility, right? So again, this is never financial advice, and it could flip back around at any time. But if you tighten it up on the weekly chart, the monthly chart is bearish. The weekly chart is bearish. It's back below the 200-week moving average, right? Eyeball test. There probably is another major target down here. There's not a lot of support here, right? There wasn't a lot of support here. So, it's currently bearish. Daily chart. Let's see on the daily chart. Maybe you can get like some relief possibly on the daily chart. There is bullish divergence, but it's too early to call it. So maybe it's kind of a wait and see for you because you have bullish divergence, right, on the daily chart, but it is breaking back down. So it could put in bullish divergence, meaning lower price, and then before you get some sort of a bounce, maybe back up to where you're at right now, 220, right? So 220, somewhere around there you bought, and then, or maybe it was a long time ago, but it's currently bearish on the daily chart. It is bullish divergence, but like we know, it could have continued bullish divergence for much longer than we think. So we're gonna keep moving. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's see what else. Doc, again, thanks a lot for your time investment. I'm seeing the markets now more neutral. They will show us a path. 100%, Doc. 100%. Thanks for coming back. I know you've been on this live stream, I think, since day one. So awesome to see you back again. That's the only way you're going to be successful in trading and investing is if you're looking at it neutral. You may catch lightning in a bottle here or there. You may get right here or there on a stock that just pumps, and you get lucky here or there. But for sustained realizing profits, for sustained growth, you got to have a plan. You got to have a strategy. You got to look at the markets neutral, and you have to treat it like a business over and over and over again. And with that, we will do that as market snipers, and we're going to continue to do it. All right, what else? Let's keep going. Yes, sir. I'm low and short. Manuel, thanks, Jefe. For non-Spanish speakers, Jefe means boss. Thanks, Emmanuel. Appreciate it. Let's see. John got here late. That's all right. You can replay. You can replay the stream on YouTube. I believe that on like a 1.25 speed or higher. I can't process it much faster than 1.25% speed. But I remember a lot of the coaching, recorded coaching clients, they watch those coaching videos on 1.75. I think some people have even done in 2%. I can't retain any information higher than 1.25. I personally like the regular speed of 1%. And because I really want to soak it in. I want to watch it one time and I want to soak in the information, like really take my time with it. Jesse, thanks, Jesse, and have a good weekend. Oh, got here late. Have a good weekend. Hope your fantasy football teams and Vikings win. Smash the like, everyone. Yes, listen to John. I hope the Vikings beat the Chargers. Me too. And my fantasy team, I'm really hoping to take out my second mom, my stepmom of over, I think, 42 years now. Stepmom of 42 years. She's been my stepmom since I was 2 years old. So she's a second mom to me. I'm taking her out in fantasy football. I took out my dad last week. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Show no mercy. I will not show any mercy to my own family, my own wife, my nieces and nephews. I will never show mercy. I will never let them win. I think it builds a competitive edge. They never let me win as a kid, so I will not let them win either. So thank you. Mauricio, can you check Tilray? Yep, let's do it. It's on the watch list. So where is it? Where is it? Where's Tilray? We're 15 minutes over now on a Friday. Whew. There it is. All right, we're going to get through it. So maybe I stop rambling. Maybe I stop talking. So we actually talked about this on the live stream, right? I believe we talked about this on the live stream. Mauricio, let me know if you saw a previous live stream on this where we're talking about taking profit at target 2. And I was in a Tilray long position, back here. Before it even broke out, I was in a Tilray long position and talked about taking profit at this target or this target. I ended up taking profit here because I was in options. So I got out here. I didn't actually take profit here, but on the live stream, they talked about when would it be a good time to take profit because price was pumping up. And then there was starting to be like bearish divergence, right? And then followed by a reversal candle. So a key target area, it already hit 4-5 targets for me, especially on the options trade. And it happened very quickly. So for me, already saw like bearish divergence happening. And so I took profit there. And then I talked about in the live streams potentially taking profit. It's bearish on the daily chart. It's a weekly chart, pending sell signal on the weekly chart. Could it find support, turn around, and come back up and hit higher targets? Possibly. But if you're looking for, let me know, are you in a long position now or are you looking to take it? Because if you're in a long position, then you're just kind of waiting patiently. You can kind of see this is like that Bart Simpson pattern. So maybe it comes back down. There is a gap down here. I've had this gap on there for a long time. There is a gap down there. When it gapped above, I talked about it. So there is a gap to be aware of. It could come back down, price would put in a higher low. Hasn't put in a higher low yet. So if it puts in a higher low, maybe it would take some time to like consolidate, put in a higher low, and then maybe there's another awesome, amazing run. This was a amazing, and it kind of looked like that, right? So if I'm looking for a long position, because after taking profit here, I did, we talked about possibly taking profit here if you're in a long position. But for me, it's like you see it kind of like maybe it kind of coils, however it plays out. By the way, this is the inside joke in Discord. Sometimes I get tired or lazy and I don't like visualize exactly what possibly could happen and lay out all. So I just start. This is the overall thought, right? So whether it's up, down, overall, this is like that buy the next dip potential scenario. You've got a low. This would be that potential higher low. We don't know yet because it could be future bullish divergence, right? Could be future bullish divergence, and then it comes out like that. So that's Tilray. Let's keep going. Let's keep going in the comments. Johnny C. Jesse, happy Friday. See, thank you for misspelling my name. I know I'm going to be messing up a lot of people's names and pronouncing it correctly. So this is payback, Johnny. I appreciate you misspelling my name. My own aunts misspell my name. My own godmother, who's also my aunt, occasionally spells it IE, and I laugh about it with my mom. I'm like, and I give my mom a hard time. I'm like, your sister is still misspelling my name after 44 years. Happy Friday. Thanks, Johnny. TGIF. Thoughts on link buy zones? Ooh, link. Chain link. That is definitely in the sniper top 40. Is this going to go in an hour and a half? Oh my God. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to need a break. I'm going to run out of water. I can feel myself getting tired right now. But we're rocking it. Let's nail these charts. Let's take a look. And I like it as well because you kind of force me to look at all the charts or more charts and maybe ones that I'm not looking at. And then there might be that amazing opportunity that maybe I didn't find out for myself and discover on my own. That's one of the great things about the sniper community, especially the Discord, is community of like-minded people looking to sniper the markets, whether you're an investor or a trader. And this was pointing at the reversal candle after the bullish divergence. I loved it. Yeah, so pointing out the bullish divergence, followed by a reversal candle. I'm loving it, right? Loving it. Some of the snipers might be finding opportunities that I didn't see before, right? And they've become a part of the sniper watch list. So that's why I love it. It's like our own lead source, our own organic lead source that we're looking at. So it's always good to find new lead sources, and we have that. Okay, so it's currently bullish on the daily chart. But as you can see, there was a reversal candle there. It is above the trending dots, but which is down at 6.3. Let's get the weekly chart. Pending buy signal. Let's get rid of that. Pending buy signal on the weekly chart, right? So the week doesn't close until Sunday. So we've got today at 5 p.m., which is another almost 7 hours. Then we have Saturday, and then we have Sunday. So call it almost 2.5 days before the weekly close. So it could still close. It's pending, right? So it could still close bearish, and it would just be kind of a fake out to the upside, a little bounce to these three targets. But it is something to kind of like pay attention to. So if you're like on the weekly chart, this trend line was based off the daily chart and hitting shorter term targets, right? So if you're watching the weekly chart, it's still back below it. So if you do see a buy signal and the daily chart does find support and we're closing back above this trend line, it could be a bigger or a larger bounce, and maybe it retests the 200-week moving average, which it has not yet, right? So the 200-week moving average is currently almost $10, right? So it's possible, we did have bullish divergence long-term since back here, right? Bullish divergence. What is that back till? May 2022. So May 2022, bullish divergence all the way till June 2023. So more than a year bullish divergence, followed by a reversal candle, followed by a nice pump, retracement. This looks like a higher low, right? So bullish divergence followed by a higher low. This could be, if we get a close above, that would be a higher probability that we could see a bigger retracement, a bigger bounce on Chainlink. Too early to say, but it is possible, right? So we'll just keep an eye on that. Let's go back to candles. So what could happen is if that's the case, longer term, could see it come back down like this, right? And that would be my higher probability setup for a longer term bounce. Let's see, bullish divergence, come back down. Maybe it comes back down, consolidates, puts in that higher low, right? And then comes out. So that's something to kind of be watching for. Of course, it could just find support at this trend line and then bounce off. But we'll see how it plays out. It is currently bullish on the daily chart. It is extended away from the trending dots, which are pulling up. So this is a possibility where the trending dots come up like this, right? And you kind of move it up like that. So maybe kind of consolidates, lets the trending dots and the moving averages catch up, and then boom, comes up, hits that target. And then how do you know it's a longer term play, right? Well, if price ends up coming, oh, let me redraw that. If price comes back up, flips these targets into support, and then goes again like that, right? So, and then that would be you would start to get those buy the dip scenarios. You start to get those buy the dip scenarios, right? So that's the way it kind of play out on Link. So good idea on Link. Let's keep going. Whew, hour and a half on a Friday. Hour and a half. I meant to do an hour per day. I thought we could get through it all. Let's keep going though. Let's keep going. Let's check it out. That's the one. Awesome. I'm glad we got WBA Palak G. I'm glad. See that you're strongly convinced that there's going to be a big market crash. Per 06, it seems that you are strongly convinced that there is going to be a big market correction ahead. Are there any other metrics you look up besides charts? I mean, you've got overall, I look at the charts, but there are other things besides the actual trading chart. For example, unemployment, right? Unemployment on my chart looks like the bottom could be in. And it looks like after this month, it's a monthly chart. So after this month, it's starting to curl up on the chart and it's starting to look bullish on the chart. So that would be a factor per 06. That's not just like a trading chart, but I have it here. I have to go to the monthly. It's what's going to make me go to the monthly chart anyways, right? So let's see. Where is it? Do I have it on this one? Let's see. What's this one? Nope, that's the balance sheet. So the balance sheet is correcting on the monthly chart, right? So there are other factors out there. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. So, but I look at the charts, right? So it's contracting the balance sheet on the monthly chart. It's bearish on the monthly chart, right? So that's what I look at. Let's see, what else? Oh, that's the same thing. I thought I had unemployment. That's right. Well, yeah. So I do have other factors. So if you do want to look at like the unemployment, it was at 3.8, and it looks like the monthly chart on unemployment is starting to curl back up. So I do look at other things like that. But as far as like all the narratives out there, I'm aware of all the narratives and I do hear them, but I really stay hyper focused on the charts because I feel like the narratives, if you get too bullish, too bearish one way or the other. So we take this. Could there be a bigger market correction? Yes. And we're looking at that. And it could be an overall correction. Have some of the stocks already gone through a huge market correction? Yes. So is it just the Magnificent Seven that haven't gone through a major correction? So far, it seems like that and some other stocks as well. But, Amazon already came back to March 2020 lows. That's the Magnificent Seven. So let's see. But the macro guys love to talk about, other things, right? But the macro guys can be on the wrong side for much longer. Let I'm just curious, how do you build a strong conviction on what could eventually change your mind? The charts change my mind. My strong convictions are what I see on the chart per 06. My strong conviction is what I see on the charts. So I change with the charts. So as I'm a swing trader first and foremost, and if the charts start to change, I change. So that's the only strong conviction I have, is that what I'm seeing on the charts over and over and over again. Let's see. Let's keep going through the comments. There's a lot here. I love it. Thanks for all the comments. On daily, shows divergence. On the weekly, way too oversold. Yeah, well, remember, there's divergence. So when the weekly chart is bearish, the monthly chart is bearish, and there's bullish divergence on a lower time frame, it could be a shorter term bounce, right? So not that the overall entire trend is going to change. And remember, price can remain overbought or oversold for much longer than people think or believe. And if you don't wait for a higher probability reversal, you're guessing, and you're going to guess more. You're going to guess wrong more than you do right. Trust me on that one. That's why I wait for a higher probability reversal. You can get lucky, but higher probability reversals is what I'm here for. I'm here, mate. Yes, sir. Yes, potential buy long term. Okay, cool. Boston spot at 220. Okay. Looking for a correction at 28, 29. Okay. Kyle, do you have time to cover Synapse? Yeah. I mean, do I have the energy? I have some time. Do I have the energy? I think that's the last one. So yeah, Kyle, give me a quick comment if you're still here, and we'll cover it. And I'll come back to your comment. Let's see, Mauricio, I'm looking for a good point of entry. Okay. G-Rod, sorry, I got a little behind on chat. Nike, I'm looking for a small pump to short. Oh yeah. I mean, that's a counter trade, G-Rod, because remember, Nike is bearish on many reasons why. There's some 12-hour bull hoping to short. I mean, counter trading you can, but overall trading with the trend, I believe over long term is more sustainable, right? Because you can buy those rips, but you better sell those rips, right? Mauricio, thanks. Thank you. Johnny, LOL. Gracias, amigo. De nada. Okay. So I'm not sure if Kyle's still here or not. Kyle, let me know. Synapse SYN. If you're still here, I'll spend more time. Otherwise, I'll just take a quick glance at it. Let's see. Crypto SYN USDT. Trying to do that left-handed. Binance. Let's look at it quick. There's not much chart history on Synapse SYN USDT. Let's look at the weekly chart. Not much history. There's just not much history on it, right? So I typically don't trade myself unless it was with maybe lunch money or something. I usually don't trade something that just kind of like comes on the market, similar to an IPO at $1.85, February 2023, and then just gets crushed. All the investors get crushed, right? So, pump and dump, 85%. So, but if we do dive in on the daily chart, maybe you're looking at a short term, right? You do have some bullish divergence coming up here, some slight bullish divergence. There could be future bullish divergence. However, this looks like it could be a possibly sneaky lower high on the daily chart. So let's see if we kind of tighten up a trend line here. It's getting very close. This could be a higher low. There are showing signs of life on the daily chart, Kyle, and you could see a bounce. You could see a bounce here. Awesome. All right, we'll keep going then. So like I said, it was bearish on the weekly, the monthly, but there's not a lot of chart history. As far as the daily chart, you do have some slight bullish divergence kind of working out. This could be a higher low, right? Could be a slightly higher low. And maybe you see a retracement, back up into like eyeball test, target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, right? Different targets. Maybe that's what you're looking for. But as far as like longer term, there's not a lot of chart history. It is 85% off all-time highs of February 2023. But it doesn't mean it can't be 99% off all-time highs, which means eventually it could drop down to or go to zero, right? So, just got to be aware of that. Be careful with that. Stay safe out there. Don't get caught up in the hypes. Don't get caught up in fear of missing out. Don't get greedy. Treat this as a business. Yes, you can catch lightning in a bottle, but treat it like a business. And do your best to snipe the markets. We'll do our best to snipe the markets together. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being on here for more than an hour and a half, liking it, the live stream, all the comments, and we'll try to continue to sniper the markets together. Get outside this weekend and enjoy your weekend with family and friends, and I'll see you on Monday. Thank you.